Introduction music. Dun, 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 dun. Welcome back, gun pokes. Here we are back in the bunker, and to follow up on the video about the DSM, the German training rifle, and so nobody gets the idea that they were the only ones that were doing it, we're going to have a look at the British contingent, or some of the efforts that the British and Canadians made to train up their troops before they got onto full-bore rifle. We got 4 rifles here. We got a Lee Speed, turn of the century. We've got 2 1906 pattern, approximately, or 1908 small training rifles. And we've got a full-size 303 SMLE. There is a flow to this. The British, we rather got our behinds kicked about when it came to marksmanship in the Boer Wars. Certainly by the end of the Second Boer War, the powers that be realised that they had to find a way of training their riflemen a little bit more efficiently, maybe get them going earlier, get them going younger, and be able to spend more time and money training, therefore maybe not to use full-bore 303 ammunition. Because if you can't shoot a 2.2, then you're not going to be able to shoot 303. So, from this period of the end of the Boer Wars, they developed the rifle in the middle here, which we have 2 examples of, which was the British first stage solution to training up the troops, the youngsters, or the Boy Scouts on basic rifle craft. So what we have here is a bolt action trainer in 2.2 single shot, so it's not magazine fed. They weren't under any restrictions like the Germans were after the Versailles Treaty, so there were no attempts to hide these rifles or call them anything else. They made them lightweight. They were small, lightweight, a good place to begin when you start shooting, because after all, you're not going to want to be shooting a great big long rifle like the 303 Lee Speed or Metford or Long Lee or Charger Lee of any description. If it's going to give you a massive thump in the shoulder, your shot's going to go wild, you're going to become scared of the thing, you're going to become recoil sensitive. The solution is to start on 2.2s. So let's have a close look. First of all, we'll remove the long rifle as not required for this talk, and we'll get a bit closer to the trainers. So what they actually provided, in essence, was a Mauser action rifle, which is probably why some of the generals didn't like it, so actively disliked it, in that it has a safety feature on the rear, just like the Mauser. But what they were doing was they were copying, in effect, the full-bore rifle. So brass butt plates were a standard kind of thing. They've got a small tang at the top, so nothing different there. And they have the cleaning kit stashed away underneath the trap. You've got a very similar stock shape. Try to ignore the extra fine finish on this one that I've got here, because that would not be a standard issue. You've got a same shape pistol grip semi-pistol grip. Importantly, one of the most important features to be replicated are the sights. So there are the sights on the full bore version. You can see that they're within a protective ear arrangement, and that you've got an open U with a sliding ramp. So down here on the trainers, once again, you've got a sliding ramp. It is graduated only to 200 yards. You have windage adjustment, and it is viewed through the protection of these two ears, just like the full bore version. So on both rifles produced by two different manufacturers, you've got the same pattern. At the front, you have a simple inverted V on a ramp. And there it is, same thing, inverted V upon a ramp, except in this case it is once again guarded, because out in the field that could get bashed about, and that was not helpful in a wartime situation. So, as I said earlier, they're not trying to absolutely replicate the SMLE, so the woodwork is not full. You've got an exposed barrel there. On these early pattern rifles. So who are these two made by? Well, the one at the front is made by the Birmingham Small Arms Company, which I'm helpfully showing you upside down. So let's have a look at this a bit closer. So the markings we've got are made by the Birmingham Small Arms Company. Birmingham, 1909, this one. We move up here, and these were known as miniature rifles. So we have miniature rifle, the Crown, and WO pattern, War Office pattern. And there's the War Office pattern number there. Beneath we have multiple proofs and a serial number, 7574 on the barrel, which is therefore repeated on the receiver, 7514. Single shot, so you just drop your shell in there, push it in, the extractor picks up the rim, job's a good one. There's the BSA stacked rifles trademark. Moving rearward, turn it on its side. Once again, BSA stacked rifles in the woodwork. The other side is plain. These obviously show a nice bit of usage. The next one is made by the London Arms Company. And once again, I'm showing it to you upside down, but on the stock you can see the LSA roundel. We flip it over so you get to see it round the right way. Once again, London Small Arms Company, London, 1908. Miniature rifle, the Crown, quite a nice delicately inscribed crown there. WO pattern 475418. Proof marks, caliber designation. Just the same as the other one, because they were building to a pattern, a government contract to a pattern. And on the other side we have the serial number matching on both main components, so we know this rifle stayed together all its living days. What's quite nice about this rifle is it was retailed out of the famous London sword company's office in Pall Mall. So Wilkinson's Limited, gun, rifle and sword makers, Pall Mall, London. Nice bit of history. Funny because I found that one in Canada. Anyway, so as these were so disliked, they were quickly replaced by the use of converted, all-purpose built SMLEs. This one at the back is way too fine a condition to believe that it has survived like this all its life. It looks like it was made out of a piece of select walnut, but the principle is the same. I believe that the original markings have probably been removed on conversion. You've got the crow's foot, .22 caliber designation. We've got the conventional setup for an SMLE. If we come over the other side, you can see that this one is in fact a BSA barrel. Keep on moving up the front. There are the sights. There's a heavy line inscribed into the sights with a 25 plunked across it. Well, that's your setting for 25 meters. If I just pick up the example, you can see at the front end I've put the new serial number in. A176. Now this rifle, of course, gave a much more accurate feel for the recruits learning to shoot. So this was a Mark III. The magazine is now just empty. We'll collect rounds. You can see the 2.2 barrel there. And what's rather nice about this one is the very finely made, built Canadian rear sight. Which I'm trying to show you there, has adjustment for windage. And elevation, very positive click adjustment. You've got an aperture, you've got an open sight. And if we just come round to the other side once again, basic registration when you're fitting it on. Very fine adjustment. That is a very nice sight. You're going to have some success with that. Now, I know that there's a Canadian mark on here. I'm just trying to find it to show you. Ah, there it is. There it is. The crow's foot within the big C. That's the Canadian government mark. So that was their solution. And it is here now with suspiciously good woodwork on it, with an extremely high finish, which we know isn't original because it just would not survive like that all these years without the hammering and battering that it would get in use as a training rifle. But anyway, that's a brief description of the development of British training rifles. They did use, I mean, we're talking up to World War I, really. They did use, there are Metford trainers out there, there are Longley trainers. There were trainers that ended up purely in the hands of the Navy, for instance. But those are another story and worth looking at in further posts and videos. So I hope you enjoyed that. Please join us and subscribe, or click like, share it with your friends, or visit the website at www.buyswordandmusket, all lowercase, all spelt out, .co.uk. Thanks for joining us.